Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We are from Group 4, Learning Evaluation. We will talk about the last step of learning evaluation, evaluating. I'm Khalifah Intisor Zahid.
I'm Lelana Danadia.
I'm Deris Nur Kepala.
I'm Silmi Kafah.
I'm Anissa Salsabila.
I am Vivin Mulvina.
So today's material is evaluating. Here are the contents for today's material. There's definition, forms, function, aim, characteristics, relevancy, and lastly, conclusion. First, we have definition.
Okay. The definition of evaluation is the word evaluation refers to the act or process of determining the value of something. The data are all measurements until we assign a degree of quality to them. When we do so, we make an evaluation. Evaluation is a process of delineating, obtaining, and providing useful information for judging decision alternatives. Evaluation is a systematic process of determining the extent to which educational objectives are achieved by pupils. Evaluation includes both qualitative and quantitative plus value judgments concerning the desirability of that behavior. Evaluation is the process determining the first, the extent to which an objective is realized at the curriculum. And the second, the effectiveness of the learning experience provided at the classroom. And the third, how will the goals of education have been accomplished by the curriculum? Real evaluation encompasses much more than measurement and rating, although they play a part with maturity as the intention. Evaluation from our perspective becomes a broad process that differs in three significant respects from the narrower conception. The first, measurement and rating. Rating take an analytic and diagnostic function rather than a punishment and reward function. Evaluation is no longer a judgment upon the Evaluation is no longer an judgment upon the child. It is an illumination of his strength and weakness, his loss and gains, so that A, the child may use the findings to improve his learning and grow, and B, the teacher may use what he sees to improve the handling of the learning. In this sense, evaluation becomes an integral part of the learning process. And the second is evaluation can no longer be a final process marking a conclusion. It takes place continuously as part of the learning. And the last, evaluation takes place always in relation to the goal of raising maturity. The clearer the goal, the more effective the evaluation.
Next, we have forms of evaluation. There are 3 forms of evaluation. First, individual evaluation. Second, teacher evaluation, and the third one is administration evaluation. For the first, why do we have to do individual evaluation? Because it is necessary to evaluate your own progress to help the progress of the group when this evaluation is made against your own capacities and accomplishments rather than in comparison with some already established norms. The individual gains more profit when we do this individual evaluation. So it is not necessary to do this evaluation, but if you do individual evaluation, it will benefit you more. Second, there's teacher evaluation. In an evaluation of learning, not only the child is evaluated, but the teacher too. The teacher's behavior does affect how pupils learn. Their personality, their ways of handling children, their ways of instructing all enter into learning process. And then the third part is administration evaluation. It is the job of the school administration to help society understand the school and to attempt to bring educational thinking and public thinking together. Because of this, the administration bears the brunt of society's scrutiny and must answer for the performance of individual teachers. This gives added impetus to the administrator's regular evaluation of each teacher. This is the most common evaluation you will run into if you become a teacher in a school. Okay, next. Real?
Yeah. And next we have functions of evaluation. And the first one is to validate the hypothesis upon which the educational institution operates. And the second is to identify pupils who are exceptionally gifted on unusually poor on their attainments. And the third, we have to compare the current subject matter achievement of a pupil with missed previous and future achievement in the same field. And the fourth, we got to estimate the pupil of potential or and the fifth, we got to evaluate the teaching effectiveness. And the sixth, we have to provide basis for modification of curriculum. The seventh one is to make provision for guiding the growth of individuals' pupils. And the eighth is to diagnose the weakness and strength of the pupils. The ninth, to pinpoint the areas where remedial measures may be desirable. And the 10th, we have to test the efficiency of teachers in providing learning experience and the effectiveness of instruction and of classroom activities, and also to improve instruction. Yeah. And next.
Next is the aims of the evaluation. First is to make a judgment about quality or worth of an educational program. Second is to give students the opportunity to show what they have learned. Third is also to motivate the students and show them how well they have learned the subject material. The last is to give the teacher useful information about how to improve their teaching methods.
Next, characteristic of evaluation. Characteristic of evaluation, there are 6. So, it involves assessment of all the teaching learning outcomes in terms of overall behavioral change. It goes beyond the knowledge objective to cover skill application, interest, attitude, and appreciate objective. Therefore, the area and field of testing the stipulate objective has been greatly increased by adopting this new term. Second, it includes forming judgment and taking decisions about the child progress, difficult ensure by him, and taking corrective measures to improve his learning. Third, evaluation requires interpretation of data in a careful manner. For evaluation is continuous. It is not confined to one particular class or stage of education. It is to be conducted continuously as the student passes from one stage to another, from one class to other, from one school to other. Fifth, evaluation is comprehensive. It is not simply concerned with the academic status of the student, but will aspect of his growth, i.e. which includes both cognitive and non-cognitive aspects. Sixth, evaluation includes all the means of collecting information about the student learning. The evaluator should make use of test observation, interview, rating scale, checklist, and value judgment to gather complete and reliable information about the students.
The next is relevancy. The relevancy between testing, measurement, and evaluation is that student abilities can be measured through tests that are in accordance with the level ability and the development of the learning process that the student has experienced. After student abilities are measured and assessed, they can be evaluated based on data from this measurement and assessment. Assessment can be done both formally and informally. All tests are formal assessment, but not all formal assessment are tests. Next.
Evaluation of new learning can be done properly and correctly when using information option. Took measurements using tests as measuring tool. However, of course, the test is only one measuring tool that can be used because information about learning outcomes can also be options, not talk tests. For example, using note tests, measuring instruments such as observation, ratings class, and others. The teacher measures the various abilities of students. If the teacher goes further in interpreting the scores as a result of this measurement by using certain standards to determine grades on the basis of certain considerations. The teachers actives have gone further into evaluation. Next.
Next, we have the conclusion. For our group, we will, each one of us will make a conclusion of our own, starting with the first person. Silmi?
In my opinion, the conclusion is the evaluation itself means a process to get information about a process and the result of an activity, while the meaning of learning evaluation, that is the process of getting comprehensive and continuous information about a process and student learning outcomes so that it can be used as further learning.
For my conclusion, evaluation is the process of determining the value of something. The value of something here is your students' strength or weakness, their abilities, or even your teaching abilities, whether it's effective or not. Then there's three kind of evaluation in which it's not necessary to do all three of them, but the administration and teacher evaluation are important for you to do, and administration especially is a must to do for the school your work into. And then the relevancy between evaluation and other steps, other previous steps, that you need the previous steps before you can evaluate something, because evaluation needs the data gained from those steps to make a correct judgment and whatever you want to evaluate. Next is Ariel.
Sorry, tadi ke-mute. In my opinion, the conclusion is to conclude Durkheim explains the internationalization of social control in terms of morality, obligation, and desirability, whilst Matt stresses that individuals' past experience and the assumption of attitudes from others constitute the present act. So there's my opinion. Thank you.
So next, the conclusion is evaluation is a systematic process of determining the extent to which educational objectives are achieved by pupils. The function of evaluation is for estimate a pupil's potential for learning. The aim of evaluation is to motivate the students and show them how well they have learned the material.
So in my opinion, the conclusion is evaluation is continuous process and is concerned with then the formal academic achievement of students. It is interpreted in the development of the individual in terms of desirable behavioral change, relation of his feeling, thinking, and action.
In my opinion, evaluation is a process of measuring the level of progress achieved by students, determining whether students are making satisfactory progress toward achieve the expected teaching goals.
So evaluation is subsystem that is very important and very much needed in every education system, because evaluation can reflect how far development or progress of education outcomes is. With evaluation, the progress and deterioration of quality of education can be identified, and with evaluation, we can find out the weak points and easily find solutions to change for the better in the future.
Okay, next is question and answer session. Since we have limited time, we will only take 2 questions. It's unlimited now. 3 questions there.
I want to ask.
I want to
Adista.
Yeah.
ladies.
My name is Adista Salsabila from Group 1. I want to ask you guys, can you guys give an example of how the evaluation can be successful, and what is the solution if the evaluation fails? Thank you.
Okay.
So the example and what if it fails?
Solution. Yeah, solution if the evaluation fails.
Okay. My name is Mus Mulyadi. I want to ask about function of evaluation. Please select function of evaluation. Okay, thank you. To provide basis for modification. What is meant to provide basis for modification?
Okay.
And give me more about that. Thank you.
One more question. No? Okay, 2 questions then. Okay, I will try to answer the question from Adista about example of successful evaluation. So,
yeah.
an evaluation will be successful if the data or information we have from tests or other kind of information gathering are legitimate or true. So we can make a good judgment, not judgment, yeah, judgment for the judgment or solution for the problem we have. For example, since we will become a English teacher, one of our students have low test score than the other one. From that, we have one data about their score, their low score. Now we have to know whether if they are lazy, that means we just have to encourage them to study more, or is the problem comes from us, that our teaching method doesn't do effectively to them, or there's something else happen to them. So from that, if our evaluation to their problem are successful, the what is it? Their score for future tests will be improved, not vastly improved, but more. It's not as low as the score they had when we notice their problem, like that. If the evaluation fails, the result will be their score will be either stagnant on low score, or their score will be even lower than before. And we don't want that to happen to our students. Is that clear, Adista?
Yes, that's enough. Thank you for the answer.
Okay.
I want to answer most question, and the question is to provide basis for modification of curriculum. Okay. In this review, curriculum modification is defined as modified content, instruction, and or learning outcomes to meet diverse student needs. Curriculum modification is not limited to instructional modification or content modification, but includes a continuum of a wide range of modified educational components. So curriculum is defined planned learning experience with intent outcomes while recognizing the importance of possible unintended outcomes. There are 3 types of curriculum. 1, explicit or state, or you can call state curriculum. 2, hidden, or you can call it unobservational curriculum. And the 3rd, absent or no, or you can call it excluded curriculum. So the example of modification is usually a modification means a change in what is being taught or expected from the student, making an assignment easier to the student is not doing the same level of work as other students in an example of modification. An accommodation is a change that helps students overcome or work around the disability. So what is curriculum according revision? So here is why is modification is so important? Because a modification changes the learning goal or objective. It is important to try accommodation first before modifying a curriculum, since modifications change the actual learning goals, which usually result in student learning on lower level. So I hope that answered most questions. Thank you.
I will add some more for Ariel's answer. So the example for curriculum modification is with disabled students because they have it is called handicap. Yes, they have handicap. They are handicapped from regular students. So the teacher have to modify the existing curriculum to help them with the lesson like that. Is it clear, Mus? Hello? Mus? Okay. Any other question? No? Okay, if there's no other question, we will end our class for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.